Today we look at 15 of the most bizarre creatures. This angry-faced looking fish is called the anglerfish. It's probably one of the most hideous fish people said they have seen. Most of the anglerfish live in the Atlantic and Antarctic Ocean, a mile below the surface. These creatures have large heads and big crescent-shaped mouths that carry translucent teeth. Also, the male anglerfish is generally much smaller than the female. Naked mole rat are fascinating mammals found in different parts of East Africa. These underground dwellers thrive under harsh conditions. They are extremely resistant to cancer, showing infrequent signs of tumor growth. These mammals have a very long lifespan. They can live up to 31 years, which is exceedingly long for rodents. The goblin shark. This creepy shark is found 300 feet deep underwater around the world. They have a very long snout, tail, and the most unique feature, the jaw, which can protrude out of the mouth. The average size of a goblin shark is around 11 feet, but it can grow much larger. Pyrochalensis, or the living rock, is a fascinating sea creature that lives off the coast of Chile and Peru. It is completely immobilized and feeds itself by sucking water, then filtering out the microorganisms. The creature is born a male but also grows female organs over time. It reproduces by tossing clouds of sperm and eggs into the surrounding water. These living rocks are considered a delicacy in Chile. People call this the blind snake or the snake penis. It is an extremely rare limbless amphibian discovered back in 2011 in Brazil. 6 of these creatures were discovered at the time, and 2 of them were kept for research purposes. People have mistaken these creatures for reptiles because of their appearance, but they are more closely related to the salamanders and frogs. Zombie worms, or bone worms, are marine species that depend on bone nutrients to survive. They were first discovered in 2002 inside the bones of a rotten gray whale in the deep sea. Zombie worms don't have mouths or stomachs, so the way they eat are very unique. They depend on bacteria living inside of them to digest the nutrients from the bones. Now, the nutrients transfer from the bacteria to the worm is still unknown. This terrifying-faced fish is the deep-sea hatchetfish. The fish was named after a hatchet because of its body shape. Hatchetfishes are one of the many deep-sea creatures that can create its own light. This fish uses the light to escape from predators. Another unique feature is its odd position eyes, which enables them to see the prey coming from above. The Cyclops shark was discovered by a fisherman in the Gulf of California. It was confirmed by scientists after careful studies that this shark was indeed a Cyclops shark. This one-eyed shark has several deformities, including the obvious one eye, crooked spine, no nostrils, and albinism. The fisherman who found the shark plans to keep it forever. This is a giant isopod that is probably one of the stranger creatures you would find in the deep sea all over the world. It is one of the largest isopod in its family. They are closely related to shrimps and crabs. Since food source is scarce in the deep sea, isopods will eat almost anything. They can also survive for long periods of time without food, almost up to 8 weeks. The fish with the human lips. This sea creature is called the red-lipped batfish. As the name describes the main feature of this fish, it has a very similar characteristic of a human being's red lips. What's even more interesting is that scientists suggest the purpose of the red lips is to attract opposite sex. These peculiar fishes live in the tropical climates around the Galapagos Island. This oddly shaped creature is known as the blobfish. This fish can be found in the deep waters of Australia, Tasmania, and New Zealand. Its gummy-like appearance is due to its lack of bones and muscles. Since the blobfish has no muscles, it cannot hunt for food. Instead of actively hunting for food, the fish stays in place, opens its mouth, and swallows whatever drifts by. Sadly, blobfishes are currently endangered because they are often caught in bottom trawling nets. By the time blobfishes reach the surface, they die right after. The squid with teeth, also known by its scientific name, Promototolus sucklus, is a rare deep-sea squid. There was only one specimen that was ever caught by a German research vessel. This odd-looking creature was caught near the southern part of the Atlantic Ocean. Scientists currently knows very little about this squid with human-like teeth. This big-mouthed living thing is a basking shark, also called a sunfish. They are the second largest fish in the world. These sharks are filter feeders, and the purpose of its enormous mouth is used to collect tiny foods that come its way. They are often at the surface of the water, and that's how the nickname sunfish came about. This jawless creature with many sharp teeth is a sea lamprey. They are ancient fishes that have survived through many extinction events. Now what could possibly be the main food source for these creatures? It's blood. They latch on to other fishes with their suction-like mouth, digging their teeth into the victim's flesh. Then they would dig through the fish's scale with their sharp tongue to reach its blood. What's even more terrifying, the sea lamprey would release enzymes that prevent blood from clogging, and the victims will bleed to death. This marine animal, also called the spoonworm. Most of these worms can be found in shallow waters, but not limited to the deep sea. In some Asian countries, they are considered a delicacy.